In this video, we'll compare Adobe Illustrator with Affinity. We'll test the pen tool, clipping mask, image tracing, brush tool, and all the must-have features for a vector-based program. Can Affinity, a free software, beat Illustrator? Let's find out. Pen tool is one of the most useful tools in Adobe Illustrator. With the pen tool, you can create path. When you click with the pen tool, it places an anchor point. Click again and you can make a path. If you click and drag, then you can make a curved line. Also, if you hold shift, then you can create 0, 45 or a 90-degree line. Now let's try to do the same in Affinity. In Affinity, you can see few tabs at the top. Here the Vector tab is the alternative of Adobe Illustrator and the Pixel tab is the alternative of Adobe Photoshop. We talked about the Pixel tab in our last video. There are a few more tabs here, but since we are comparing with Adobe Illustrator, so we'll be focusing on Vector tab. Okay. Let's select the pen tool. Here also in Affinity, the pen tool works the same way. Click to place an anchor point and then again click to create a path. If you click and drag, then you can create curved lines. But you cannot see the path until you click. If I go to Illustrator, then you can always see the path. You can enable it in Affinity. Go to the pen tool settings. Here check rubber band mode. Now you can see the path. Like Illustrator, you can hold shift and create 0, 45 or 90-degree lines. You can turn on or off the snapping. Go to the snapping option. Here we can set a preset or we can customize it. Now you can see those guidelines. It's like the smart guides in Illustrator. One more thing I should mention is that you can add more tools. Right click and select Customize Toolbar. From here you can drag and drop any tools you want. Next, let's talk about colors. As you know, Adobe has stopped including Pantone colors from 2022, but you can get the Pantone colors in Affinity for free. Go to the swatches panel and expand the drop-down menu. Here you can find the Pantone colors. For Adobe, you can still use Pantone colors, but you need to purchase them separately. That is pretty expensive. Clipping mask is another very important feature in Illustrator. Let me draw some shapes to explain it to you. We can press Ctrl Command and 7, or we can go to Object, Clipping Mask and Make. Let me show you the masking. It's just like the Photoshop's masking. Open the Transparency panel. We can find it in Window, Transparency. Okay, now click on the shape that you want to mask and then click on Make Mask. Right now everything is black, that means everything is hidden. We know in mask, white shows and black hides. Uncheck the Clip box. It will invert the mask. Now we need a shape for masking. I'll use this circle. Set the color for the circle to black and copy it by pressing Ctrl Command and C. Now paste it inside the mask by pressing Ctrl Command and V. This is how we use clipping and masking in Illustrator. We can do all this in Affinity as well, but the process is a bit different. I'll draw some shapes. By the way, in Affinity there are lots of shapes hidden under the rectangle tool. Okay, now if I want to clip it, then go to the Layers panel. Here we can see the circle and the rectangle. If you click and drag and drop it on the top of the layer, then it will clip it. And if you drop it on the top of the icon, then it will create a mask. It's kinda confusing. Let me show it to you with a picture. I have this cute cat here. I want to show it in a circle shape. First draw a circle. Now from the Layers panel, drag and drop the circle on the top of the cat. It will create a mask. Now if you want, you can resize the circle or move it. Since we are talking about clipping and masking, so I should mention this vector crop tool. Suppose this is an art and I want to crop it. In Illustrator, we use the clipping mask, but here in Affinity, we can simply use the vector cropping tool. This is similar to clipping mask. By the way, for multiple shapes, you need to first group it and then you can use the vector crop tool. With Pathfinder, you can unite or subtract multiple shapes. Here I have two shapes. From the Pathfinder panel, you have these various options. You can unite, divide or subtract shape. The shape builder tool kinda do the same thing. If you click and drag, then it will combine these shapes. And if you hold Alt or Option, then you can subtract one shape from another. Now let's try it in Affinity. At the top, you have these same options. Also the shape builder tool is available. It works exactly the same way as Illustrator. If you click and drag, then it will combine shapes, and if you hold Alt or Option, then it will subtract. Rounding corner is simple in Illustrator. With the selection tool, you can round the corners. If you select the direct selection tool, then you can select individual points and round them separately. In Affinity, it's a bit different. There's a separate tool for that. With the corner tool, you can round the corners. You can just select one corner and round it, or you can select multiple points and round them. In Illustrator, to offset a shape, you need to go to Object, Path and select Offset Path. From this box, you have the options to adjust it according to your need. It keeps the original shape and duplicate the new shape where the offset path is applied. In Affinity, you can offset it with the Contour tool, but it doesn't create a copy and the corners got rounded. So you need to first press Ctrl Command and J to duplicate the shape and then use the Contour tool. But still, this isn't as good as the offset path feature in Illustrator. The image tracing feature is mind-blowing in Affinity. But let's first try it in Adobe Illustrator. I have this photo of a hot balloon. This one is a pretty high-res image. When you try to trace a high-res image in Illustrator, it gives a warning saying the process may take some time and slow down your computer. Let's see how much time it takes. I'm not going to fast forward it. So it takes around 40 seconds. After that, you need to click Expand to vectorize it. Now let's do the same in Affinity. I have the same image here. Select the image and go to Vector and select Image Trace. And it's already done. It takes less than a second. There are few options here than Illustrator, but it is super fast. Also, you can see the before and after side by side by clicking these icons. Awesome, isn't it? We can press Ctrl Command and Y for outline mode to see the paths only. Alignment is a simple but very important feature in Illustrator. Suppose in this Illustrator I want to place the sun in the middle. With the sun selected, we can align it from the top or we can open the alignment panel. From here, click Horizontal Align Center and Vertical Align Center. It will place the sun in the center of the artboard. Similarly for Affinity. Select the sun and from the top, click Align horizontally and vertically. In Illustrator, we can paint with the brush tool. It's like the brush tool from Photoshop, but it is vector. If you double click on the brush tool icon, then you get these options. Also from the brush tool panel, you get various types of brushes. These brushes come with Illustrator by default. In Affinity, things get more interesting. Like Illustrator, we have the brush tool here and it works similarly. If you open the Path Brush panel, then you can find lots of brushes which come with Affinity. Here at the top, the Stabilizer option works similar to the Fidelity slider in Illustrator. It makes the brush stroke smoother. But the interesting thing is this. Select the image brushes. Here you can find some awesome brushes. I really like these ones. Oh, and of course it supports pressure sensitivity. We can find more options at the top. In Illustrator, we can select the Type on a Path tool and write on a path. For example, if I draw a circle, here on the circle you can write. Same thing in Affinity. There are no separate tool for Type on a Path like Illustrator, but the general Type tool works for writing on a path. Let me draw a circle. Now select the Type tool. In Affinity, it's the Artistic Type tool. Now when you hover over on the path, it changes the shape. It means now you can type. It will type on a path. In the final example, let's do something extreme. I drew this Iron Man Illustrator a few years ago. It looks simple, but actually it's not. There are so many things going on here. If I press Ctrl Command and Y for outline mode, then you can see there are hundreds of shapes. Even in one small shape, there are multiple shapes for highlights and shadows. I tried to open it in Affinity, but it becomes very laggy. I saved the AI file in EPS and SVG formats. EPS was like the AI file format, not smooth, but when I opened the SVG format, then it gets a lot better, but still not as smooth as Illustrator. I mostly use the pen tool and the brush tool to create this illustration, and we just saw all these tools are available in Affinity. If you draw it from scratch, you can get the same output. And I don't think it will lag if you extrude a complex illustration from scratch. In conclusion, I can say yes, Affinity is good, but obviously not as good as Adobe Illustrator. If you do some simple designs or vector illustrations, then Affinity will be the best option for you.